What if the most feminist movie of the 90s had a teenage girl who was selfish, manipulative, and completely unapologetic about it? Today, we are looking at the opposite of sex and how its messy, morally complicated heroine actually gave us something the decade desperately needed. The Opposite of Sex follows Dedee Truitt, a 16-year-old runaway from Louisiana who shows up unannounced at the suburban Indiana home of her half-brother Bill, an openly gay high school teacher. Within days, she seduces his younger boyfriend Matt, convinces him he is the father of her baby, steals $10,000, and drags him across the country to Los Angeles. Left behind are Bill and his friend Lucia, Tom's sister, who chase after Dedee to clear Bill's name after a fake molestation charge gets him suspended from his job. The whole film unfolds through Dedee's own narration, which she delivers with the warmth of someone reading you your tax bill. Here is the thing about Dedee. She is not trying to be redeemed. She opens the film by telling the audience flat out that she does not have a heart of gold, and she will not be growing one later. That kind of honesty from a female character in a 90s film was almost unheard of. Women on screen were supposed to be difficult but lovable, flawed but fixable. Dedee refuses all of that. She is the narrator, the chaos agent, and occasionally the villain of her own story. And writer-director Don Roos never once asks her to apologize for it. What makes this so interesting from a feminist angle is not that Dedee is admirable. She is not, at least not in the traditional sense, but she is free in a way that most female characters of that era were not. She takes what she wants, says what she thinks, and moves through the world without waiting for anyone's permission or approval. The film treats her agency as a fact, not a problem to be corrected. That alone was quietly radical. While Dedee drives the plot, the emotional center of The Opposite of Sex belongs to Lucia, played against type with real vulnerability. Lucia spent years as the devoted friend to her late brother Tom, and then, after his death from AIDS, transferred all of that devotion to Bill. She is sharp, bitter, and fiercely loyal, but underneath all of that fire is someone who has let grief become a permanent address. She admits she does not understand sex, and the film takes that confession seriously, rather than playing it purely for laughs. The friendship between Bill and Lucia is the film's most honest relationship. He is calm and long-suffering. She is loud and furious on his behalf. Together, they balance each other out, and watching Lucia slowly loosen her grip on her own anger and let someone new into her life is the film's quietest and most satisfying arc. The Opposite of Sex was deliberately designed to offend, and its tagline in 1998 made no secret of it. Because Don Roos is himself gay, the film uses homophobic language in ways that feel pointed rather than careless, aiming the jokes back at the attitudes themselves rather than at the characters. Dedee slurs read as the reflexive ugliness of an immature kid performing toughness, not as the film endorsing her worldview. Still, watching it now, some of that material lands differently. The fake molestation subplot in particular has aged with less grace. What the film gets right, even today, is that it never lets its female characters exist just to support the men around them. Dedee disrupts everything. Lucia fights for what she believes in. Even the film's structure, built around Dedee's sardonic narration, keeps a woman's voice front and center. She may be unreliable and occasionally cruel, but she is never invisible. What The Opposite of Sex understood in 1998, and what still holds up, is that complicated women make for better stories. Dedee is not likable. She is not trying to be, but she is specific and alive in a way that 100 nicer, tidier female characters from that era simply are not. Her chaos is not a character flaw waiting to be fixed. It is the whole point. The film also takes seriously something that a lot of 90s comedies brushed aside, which is the weight of living through the AIDS crisis. Bill's speech near the end of the film, where he confronts a younger gay man who has taken his freedom for granted, is the film's most emotionally direct moment. It breaks through all the irony to say something real, and it lands. So the next time someone tells you a female character needs to be likable to be worth watching, remember Dedee Truitt, chain-smoking her way through Indiana with stolen money and zero regrets. She was never trying to earn your sympathy. She was too busy living. This is Ladies First, watching women in movies. Here, we empower women by reviewing and discussing films that highlight their stories, struggles, and achievements. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments.